So I have a million questions for you. Can you just explain how this happened? Did the White House call you? Did FEMA ask you to start making ventilators? How and why did you decide to do this?
Well, good morning, Allison. You know, it's kind of like history at Ford has been with World War II. The Arsenal of Democracy chronicled the story of us building bombers every 63 minutes. We actually made iron lungs back when there was the polio crisis. And it's inside Ford where people remember these stories. So actually the ideas were coming from within the company, asking where they might help. And of course, we relayed this to the administration. I want to just explain that it's a consortium of businesses. In the U.S., General Electric, their medical division, is working closely with Ford. And it's such a complicated machine that parts are being subdivided across a big supply chain. In the UK, we're working with McLaren and Airbus for Prime Minister Johnson and trying to build ventilators there. So we have to scale this up because the factories as we know them weren't built to produce the volumes we need to make.
I was going to ask you that. How hard is it to retool your automotive factories to now make ventilators, and how quickly can you do this? When might we see the first ventilator coming out of one of your factories?
Well, the way you need to think about it is it's like a puzzle. So there'll be parts made inside Ford, there'll be parts made at GE, there'll be parts made at outside suppliers. And the coordination and speed of that is what we know as like a conventional assembly line. And we'll be setting lines up in those various places outside of Ford to put these together.
And just, I mean, is there any way to give me a timeline? I mean, doctors say they need them now. Do you know how quickly you can make them?
Sorry. There's no higher sense of urgency. The biggest issue, for example, talking to the UK last night, is there's 6 hours of testing at the end of this. You actually have to run the ventilator through a complete cycle to make sure there's no part of it that fails. It normally takes about 27 hours to make a ventilator. We think we can cut that in half. And I would say to you that at scale, by the middle of May, we could be making hundreds of thousands of these ventilators.
I'm sorry, hundreds of thousands, how often?
Well, I'm saying that you have to scale this up. So I'm saying by early May, you could see across the world hundreds of thousands of ventilators being built from multiple suppliers, not just Ford Motor Company.
Yeah.